Why do zebras have stripes? Okay, so you've definitely seen a zebra and thought, cool pattern, and moved on with your day. Big mistake, honestly, because that pattern is one of nature's most debated mysteries, and scientists have spent over 100 years arguing about why it actually exists. Darwin had a theory, Wallace had a different theory, and it turns out basically everyone was working with incomplete information. For decades, the go-to answer was camouflage. Stripes break up the zebra's outline against tall grass so predators can't easily pick out individual animals from a herd, especially in low light at dawn or dusk when lions are most active. It's a satisfying explanation. It's also got some serious cracks in it. Lions have excellent low-light vision and can detect zebras from significant distances, even on completely open plains where there's barely any grass to break up an outline at all. If stripes were purely about hiding from predators, that defense should be falling apart constantly in the wild, and it doesn't seem to be costing zebras nearly as much as the theory would predict. Here's where it gets genuinely wild. Researchers ran a controlled experiment putting identical coats, striped, solid black, and solid white, on horses, and then tracked exactly how many flies landed on each one over time using actual video recordings. The striped coats got dramatically fewer landings, not a small difference, a massive one. It turns out stripes mess with the visual motion detection system that biting flies use to judge speed and distance right before landing, basically scrambling their targeting system mid-approach. And in parts of Africa where zebras live, those flies, specifically horseflies and tsetse flies, aren't just annoying. They transmit diseases that can be lethal to large mammals, including a parasitic disease called trypanosomiasis that horses are especially vulnerable to. So suddenly, the explanation isn't really about lions at all. It's about avoiding a tiny flying disease vector that most people would never even think to connect to a coat pattern. What makes this even stranger is that zebras aren't the fastest animals on the African plains, and they aren't the strongest either. They survive because evolution keeps giving them tiny advantages that stack together over millions of years. A single horsefly bite might not seem like a big deal, but imagine thousands of bites over an entire season, each one carrying the possibility of infection or draining energy through constant irritation. Even if stripes reduce fly landings by only a fraction in natural conditions, that advantage gets multiplied every single day of a zebra's life. There's also a heat regulation theory layered on top of that. Black stripes absorb more solar heat than white ones do, and some researchers believe this temperature difference between adjacent stripes creates small air currents right along the zebra's skin, generating a cooling effect almost like a built-in ventilation system running across the entire body. It hasn't been proven with the same level of certainty as the fly research, but thermal imaging studies have shown measurable temperature differences between black and white stripe regions that support the idea. And then there's the part that messes with people every single time it comes up. Every single zebra's stripe pattern is completely unique, down to the individual animal, the same way human fingerprints are unique to each person. No two zebras anywhere on the planet share an identical pattern. Researchers studying zebra social behavior have found evidence that foals can recognize their own mother specifically using stripe pattern as a visual identifier within a busy, chaotic herd, which suggests the uniqueness itself might serve a real social function beyond just being a side effect of however the pattern develops. So you've got fly deterrence, possible thermoregulation, and individual identification, all potentially stacked into the exact same physical trait, evolving and reinforcing each other over millions of years rather than any single one of them being the answer scientists were originally looking for. Evolution doesn't typically waste a feature on doing only one job when it can be doing three. So next time someone confidently tells you zebra stripes are obviously about hiding from lions, you can hit them with the actual story. It's probably barely about predators at all. It's about flies you've never heard of carrying diseases you've never heard of, plus a built-in cooling system, plus what might function as a visual ID card for every individual zebra in a herd. That's a lot of engineering packed into something that, at a glance, just looks like a cool pattern.